Well, Ken and Play are back again for another big house party. Here's number 3 and my review of it. House Party 3. Yo, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1994 comedy flick House Party 3, released by New Line Cinema, starring Kid and Play, plus Bernie Mac, Gilbert Gottfried, and Tisha Campbell. Plus we got Anthony Johnson, we got and special appearance by TLC and Chris Tucker as well. This movie was released in January of 1994, and while it did get a little bit of bad reviews, anyway, it managed to make just about as much as the last film did with 19 million. Anyway, now this is also Chris Tucker's debut on film, as well as the first film in the series Martin Lawrence doesn't reprise his role of Bilal, nor was he mentioned. And the 3 members of the group Full Force, who played the bullies in the first 2 films. Anyway, this kind of takes a little bit of a turn, but I'm not going to give you the whole story and what have you. But I'll give you my thoughts after I give you a little bit of the story. But first off, if you haven't seen my reviews of the first 2 House Party films, click on that card, and I'll take you to the playlist so you can catch what you might have missed or see them again if you'd like. Okay, that about covers it. Let's try and get into the story. Well, I'm going to give it to you anyway. Christopher, aka Kid, is marrying his girlfriend Veda, while his best friend Peter, aka Play, is dipping his fingers into the music business and attempting to manage a roughneck female rap act called Sex the Weapon. Play books the ladies for a concert with heavy-handed promoter Showboat. But when they decide to fire Play and hire a new manager, he has to figure out how to deliver them to the show or face the wrath of Showboat's female security force. Kid and Play talk about their dream to to one day open a store to sell their favorite sandwich. Things eventually begin to spiral out of control for the two, as Play is also playing the bachelor party while trying to keep Kid's 3 younger cousins from Detroit, who ironically calls themselves Immature, in line. And Kid's ex-girlfriend Sydney has come back to town, which is news that doesn't please Veda at all. To complicate matters more, Kid's cousins hijack his bachelor party in retaliation for not letting them perform at it, moving it from the rented hotel ballroom to their Aunt Lucy's house. The party at the ballroom is a bust, as Play's cousin Stinky invites a very obese women to the party. He's attracted to heavy-set women. Meanwhile, Showboat has been looking out for Kim. Well, he's been out looking for Kim Play for his money, but gets sidetracked briefly by Kid's mischievous cousins. Embarrassed by the poor turnout at his party, Kid bails into the corridor and runs into Sydney, who is there for her grandparents' anniversary party. And Sydney congratulates Kid and tells him that Veda is good for him. As they hug and part ways, Veda comes out of the elevator and sees them hugging. She immediately jumps to the conclusion that Kid slept with her cousin Janelle, who had been dogging Kid and the pending marriage throughout the film, comes to his defense and tell Veda she is wrong to assume Kid cheated. And at the same time, Play, who also disagreed with Kid getting married, tells Kid he is wrong for wanting to break off the marriage since he's convinced Veda doesn't trust him. Now, that's all the story I'm going to give to you. I will not give you any ending spoilers or anything, but I will tell you it turned out for the best for Kid and Veda, and with them trying to, well, get through this. getting past Showboat and his bodyguards. But anyway, might as well go ahead and give you my thoughts on this. House Party 3 was pretty fun in ways. Well, it almost comes close to as good as the other two films, but I will say it does have a few fun bits and what have you. Now, with the additions of the 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 group Immature playing the well, of course are playing the cousins and what have you to Kid. I thought they weren't too bad. Now now apparently one of the members was Marquez Houston, who had recently made his acting debut in the cult classic anime comedy Baby's Kids. He'd also gone on to star on TV's Sister Sister. And let's see. And he even got this. Yes, and I also saw him in Fat Albert as well. The live action movie, of course. So anyway, yeah, I thought the name sounded familiar and what have you. He'd also go on to play a character in the next film, which was direct to video, but I'll get to that later. Now, Kid and Play are back in this, and they're both still pretty good. Bernie Mac, may he rest in peace, did very good in playing Kid's Uncle Vester. Of course, that's short for Sylvester Robinson. David Edwards plays Stinky. He's pretty funny. Angela Means plays Veda. She was pretty good. Tisha Campbell returns as Sydney. And Chris Tucker plays the character Johnny Booze. That was absolutely really funny. Let's see. Then we have the other members of Immature. Jerome Jones, aka Young Rome, but he also goes by Romeo. And Don Santos, who aka Half Pint. Marquez Houston goes under alias of Batman. Yeah. Let's see. Michael Collier played Showboat. And let's see. Of course, Gilbert Godfrey played a luggage clerk in the scene. TLC is Sex as a Weapon. And this, if I'm mistaken, yeah, this just came right at the time they actually made it with their first album. And of course, later that same year, they released their Crazy Sexy Cool album, which would definitely be a big success. Candy Alexander, who would later go on to star on this. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, she'd go on to star on CSI Miami after making an appearance on its predecessor. Plays the character of Janelle. She also was a choreographer for Whitney Houston's world tours from 88 to 92, as a matter of fact. Really something. I will say the cast isn't too bad. And the soundtrack was released and did pretty well. It was notable for containing the last original material released by Kid and Play. And its score was done by David Alan Jones, which wasn't too bad. And this, of course, and the soundtrack to this was actually released on the duo's own label, Select Records, which was a subsidiary at Atlantic Records. After Motown had released the soundtrack for the first film, and the MCA had released the soundtrack for the last film. So you know the music's not too bad. Now, this was intended to be the last film in the franchise, ending as a trilogy. But in 2001, a standalone direct-to-video sequel, House Party 4 Down to the Last Minute, was released later on. So anyway, I thought, well, it's not completely bad completely. It's a mere zero, the worst score, 0% on the tomato meter. So it had bad reviews, so this is why I didn't want to give the whole story away. So House Party 3, well, I'd say for my recommendation, give it a one-time watch. If you are a hardcore completionist or if you're a Kid and Play fan, then give it a one-time watch, okay? That's my verdict. It has its ups and downs, but it has some pretty funny stuff and what have you. Now, unfortunately, Kid and Play did not appear in that new fourth film, which I'll be talking about in the next video. But however, they would have a cameo in the fifth one, also a direct-to-video sequel. But I'll talk about that later on this week. So overall, House Party 3, it's a hit or miss. You be the judge. But if you've seen House Party 3, let me know what you thought about in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time for my review of House Party 4 down to the last minute. So I do hope you liked this, and if you did, you might want to check out these other videos I've done. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the 80s classic Flashdance. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Dirty Dancing, or if you would like another, well, pretty funny flick and what have you, then you might want to check out my review of a film that featured a star that wasn't, well, from the first two films, Martin Lawrence, and that would be Blue Streak from 1999. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.